Relative Strangers is a pretty good film. I didn't completely love every second of it, but in general, it was pretty good. This was released in 2006. It's directed by Glienna, I apologise if I mispronounced that, and written by Glienna and Peter Stass, and it stars Danny DeVito, Kathy Bates, Neve Campbell, and Ron Livingston. And this is about a character called Richard Clayton, played by Livingston, and at the start of the film, he finds out that he was actually adopted. And he decides he wants to know his birth parents. And very quickly, he finds them, or they find him. And these are Frank and Agnes Menure, played by Danny DeVito and Kathy Bates. And they are basically the exact opposite of him. Richard Clayton is very well educated. He is doing very well for himself. And Frank and Agnes live in a trailer, to very simply explain the differences. And Richard is kind of mortified that these are his birth parents. And the film, of course, is all about not judging people, accepting that people are different, and we have some really great messages in here. I definitely think the reason the film works is because of the characters of Frank and Agnes. I think Danny DeVito and Kathy Bates gave such amazing performances that whenever they were on screen, it was really fascinating. I didn't completely love the direction the narrative took, by which I mean maybe after about halfway through, up until towards the end, but not quite the end. The ending, I won't say what happens, but I feel like I was left feeling pretty satisfied with things. But it did kind of go in a direction I didn't completely love. And whenever Frank and Agnes were not in scenes, it maybe wasn't the most interesting. Richard is also not a particularly likeable character pretty much throughout it. That's not to say we don't have moments of character development. There are moments where maybe he's a little bit more likeable, but he's definitely not the best. And I have absolutely no problems with Neve Campbell's character, Ellen. She's absolutely fine. So it's an easy watch. It's a comforting watch. We have some really solid messages in here. And in general, it's a pretty decent narrative. I can't imagine I'd watch it a second time. But as a one-time watch, I thought Relative Strangers was not too bad. And if there's anything about this that appeals to you, then I'd say it's probably worth checking out.